Welcome and welcome back, my change makers. If you don't know me, my name is Kira Siva. I am a spiritual mentor and healer, and today we are going to talk about how to communicate with your spirit guides. Now, I know a ton of you out there already are actively communicating with your spirit guides, so I did have the intention with this reading to really help you deepen that communication, to unblock anything that you might be missing, and to really give you the confirmation when you are correctly receiving messages from your spirit guides. So buckle up, and if you want a personal deep dive into your relationship with your spirit guides, or you have questions about spirituality, your love life, making money, all that kind of good stuff, I am offering personal readings. You can find the link in the description, and thank you so much to everybody who has already gotten those. I have so much fun doing readings for you all, and I am so excited to jump into this topic because I feel like we can go really deep and also really practical with it. Go ahead and take a breath, connect with your intuition. This is pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. Okay, let's hop into pile number one. Let's dive in. First of all, I will just say, when I sat down to film this, I had the question in my mind, but literally your cards were flying out. I pulled your tarot cards first, and they were flying out. Like, I felt like your spirit guides were like, okay, finally, like, we're finally getting to doing this. Every other pile obviously matters, and it's important, and I'm going to connect with their spirit guides as well. But your pile, I think that the reason this reading is happening is because your spirit guides were like adamant that they're going to clear up some communication stuff with you today. So, what a freaking cool reading. I have never pulled tarot cards like this before, and it's so cool. It's so cool. I wish you could have seen how they flew. You have the King of Wands, the King of Cups, and the King of Swords, and the Moon, and the High Priestess. Holy cramoly. Like, first of all, you're a very well-developed soul. You are a soul on the trajectory of evolution and enlightenment. And you have a really powerful spirit team. Like, even the way that these cards came out, where it's like a king and then the moon, which is very internal, and the king is looking at this internalization. It's like every single one of these kings is representation. I don't know how to say it right now, but they are representing your spirit team. And not that necessarily your spirit team is male, but your spirit guides are very accomplished, and they are also reflecting where you have been very accomplished. So you have accomplished emotions and inspiration and a mental capacity. So overall, it looks like you guys are communicating really strongly, and they are very active in your life. Like, they are not sitting back passively watching you navigate life. Like, they are, like, you guys are like having powwows every full and new moon. Like, you guys are together, working together. We can see that you are highly intuitively developed. So your spiritual abilities, capacities, your spiritual gifts, your clair abilities are really, really open. And sometimes it makes you feel lonely, and just like I don't know if it's necessarily like depression, but an aloneness. I think sometimes you feel lonely being a human in life, because you are so connected with your spiritual life, and also like where we go after we leave these human bodies. So let's get into how to really connect with or communicate with them even more efficiently. We have a lot of bird totems. We have a lot of birds. And what this really shows is that you're really already strong with the air element. So what is happening is you are accurately receiving a ton of the guidance that they are sharing with you. But there is this point where you get really in your head and like you're looking around everywhere else except for where you need to be looking. And like they could be showing you a sign, but you are so consumed by whatever negative thought is going on in your mind, or like, you know, those days when you wake up and you just like, you feel grumpy and off, and you know, you're like, I haven't had my coffee or tea yet, and you're just like not participating, right? You're just sort of shut into your own little mind here and not really actively recognizing the signs. There's also a really strong message in these cards of you really feeling separate. It's like it's lacking the acknowledgement that we are all one. You are still one with your spirit team. You are all one with all of the humans on the earth. You are one with the planet. You are one with the cosmos. And it's not that you are, well, I mean, you are everything, and they are also all you. So your spirit team is really, really showing that when you get into these modes of like negative thinking, pessimism, maybe getting distracted, like just like maybe somebody was kind of nasty with you and you felt really distracted by it, there is this level of feeling separated. And when we feel separated, a lot of times that's when the doubt starts to come in, right? Where you want to feel like you are hearing your spirit guides and they are actively able to reach you, but then you're like, well, but is this real? But what about this and what about that? And there is a doubt with indecision that comes along with that. Now what your spirit team is really mostly saying is when you feel like you are out of alignment and not able to connect with them and talk to them, you need to remember that you are all one. It's almost like they're saying like you're all one soul, like you're all one bigger soul, and parts of you came to incarnate at this time and the other parts are hanging out in the spiritual realm helping you. I'm not used to getting that kind of a message, but take it or leave it as it is. But they want you to feel unified with them. You know, when you're in a group and like you have such good teammates that you almost like flow effortlessly together. You've learned each other so well that you know exactly how that person's going to behave. You know, like their temperament, and you get it. So you know exactly when you need to step up and hand them the thing that they needed, or it's like you guys can all be moving and active at the same time, and you all each know your position and place within that team. That's really this like bigger message. Like you aren't on an island and you aren't alone. So when you feel like you're getting into your head too much about it, remember that you are a part of a well-versed, well-greased team. Like you guys have been doing this for lifetimes together. And so follow what your instincts are, because they are true, and you are accurately receiving the communications and messages, because your spirit team are like your best friends. Like they know you like the back of their hand, you know them like the back of your hand, and so they're just encouraging you to move through the world that way. And so when you step out of the negative thinking, you can step into, you know what, I don't feel like I'm receiving messages right now, but actually I remember that I am a part of a kick-ass team, and they know exactly like what I'm gonna do and what I'm thinking, and I can like sense, I can feel what it is that they are going to want to do. I can understand when they're about to, you know, masterfully make something happen out in the world that I'm going to go and partake in, right? So they really, really are encouraging that. And they're also really encouraging you to take your consciousness higher. So instead of looking at yourself as this tiny, limited, finite human, connect with that part of your consciousness that can soar. Maybe you do that in meditations, maybe you do that through lucid dreaming, maybe you stare at the sky and the clouds, maybe you study some birds, you go out bird watching for a while. It's really this idea of not getting locked down in the details of life and allowing your consciousness to expand and say, you know what, I know that there's way more to life than this. I almost feel like you can remember what it's like to be in between lives. And if you can't consciously remember that right now, it's in your dreams, or it will be in meditation, or it's like in your imagination. I don't know how a better way to describe that. It's in that limitless part of your consciousness where anything is possible. They're taking me to that space in you. Maybe you're creative, like you're an artist, or you're a writer, or you do something that connects with that level of imagination. Go there, because they can easily talk to you there. They can easily show you the pictures and help you access the information that you need in that space. And down here we have Sarada Devi. She is the unconditional love. They're really showing this card to me as your relationship, like the truth of who you are, the truth of who they are, and also an access point. So again, if you get really internal, they just keep showing me this as like a really grumpy person who's just like curled up in a blanket, like, ugh, today, you know how a grouchy cat looks? Like that's the image they're giving me. It's hilarious. Get out of your head, get into your heart, trust that you're a part of a team. Trust that you are receiving the messages, because you are, and just know, act naturally, because you guys have all been working at going through life together for so many lifetimes. You won't get it wrong. That's their main message. Like, you're not going to get anything in your life wrong. They are there helping you through every single piece of it. Okay, pile number 1. Your pile was so cool, was so wild. Leave me a bird emoji. I don't know if there even is a bird emoji. A cloud? I don't know. A star? Leave me a little emoji and let me know you're from pile number 1. And thank you so much. If you like this reading, don't forget to click the subscribe button and the like. Let me know how it's going with your spirit guides. And if you want to understand your relationship with them at a deeper level, I do offer private readings. You can find the link in my description. And until next time, pile number 1, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. Pile number 2. Okay, the very, very, very first impression that your spirit team gave me about you was you are the embodiment of this card. This is my beauty pile. There are certain people in the world where their soul is so soft and so gentle, and like you can see it radiating off of them, like the lovely purity of their heart, and their whole path in life is to walk the beauty path, to make life beautiful and enjoy beautiful things and luxurious things, and that's you. So this is what they're showing me about you, is you are an incredibly beautiful, gentle, kind soul. And yeah, like your path, your spiritual path to follow is the beauty way. So they just wanted to let you know that, because part of being in the beauty path is setting healthy boundaries. So how can you communicate with your spirit guides? The first thing they really want you to work on and to focus is that you are a deep empath. You understand how it feels to be other people, and deeply empathetic people like you have a hard time learning where do you end, where does your energy end, and where does another person begin? Where do their feelings begin? So in order to talk and communicate more effectively with your spirit guides, you need to really, really work on feeling the truth of who you are and knowing yourself so well that you know what your feelings are, what your kind of personal blocks and problems are. And I say all of this as a fellow clairsentient. There are so many times I have all of this deep empathy thing. There are so many times that I am many states away from people, and I am picking up on their feelings. It is really wild, and if you do not understand yourself enough, suddenly you're like, why do I feel so fearful? Why do I have anxiety? Why do I feel this way? Your abilities to be fully connected with creation itself, that channel in you is already awakened and already alive and already rocking. Your job at this point is to be able to know when those feelings aren't yours. The reason that your spirit team is telling you this is because when they send you messages, it's getting muddled. It's getting really, really muddled with other people. Sometimes you could be taken on other people's depression, their negativity, their sadness, the lack of clarity. You need to sort through that, figure out what's truly yours, what's not truly yours, and your spirit team will absolutely help you with this. Just make sure you ask. But that level of understanding, I want to call it you need to refine your consciousness, your emotional consciousness, so that when you experience the emotions and you experience the feelings inside, you know, this is mine, this isn't mine, this is my team, this is myself, this is my blocks. It's so much easier to say that than actually do that. It has taken me years, and it's something I will be practicing the rest of my life. And I'm pretty well developed at that stuff. So don't feel bad if you're I don't freaking know. Everything feels like a gray area. That's perfectly normal. Your spirit team is communicating with you, and they do connect with you. You're very clairsentient, and so they have found that using your intuition and a lot of times using your knowingness is the way they are actually talking to you. There are going to be these points, if you haven't already had them, which you probably have, where you just know things. Sometimes when spiritual information just clicks, it's it clicks in every single cell of your body. You're just it doesn't matter what anybody else says, because you know it in the core of your being. It's an incredible thing and an incredible gift to have. So keep developing that. Really, really focus on clairsentience, really focus on having healthy boundaries. You also really just need to clean up your energy. It's they're sending you messages, and I know I said this earlier, but it's getting muddled with the messages of the people that are already tapping into your energy. So you need to clear out the people that are tapping into your energy, cut some cords, do some rituals, get some more protection, circles up, do the energetic work, do the spiritual hygiene that you need to. You're always welcome to reach out to me if you need further details on how to do that. I think maybe some videos on my channel, but I'm always happy to help people with that. Otherwise, they're telling me that because it's hard for you to sift through the messages. You're having a hard time sifting through. Even right now, I feel a little befuddled. It's I feel warm and well-rounded, but befuddled. I don't know. So that's kind of the vibe that they're giving me with this. They're just they need boundaries. They need to know what's not theirs. They need to clear that out. Your energy is so luscious and beautiful and harmonious, and like, you are so freaking beautiful. Your soul is so freaking beautiful. You are just attracting you are attracting the people that want to feel that way. They see a piece of what they remember as home in you. So you have to, I know it's weird, but you have to really put up those boundary lines, because it is so important. So important. There's also a really strong element of emotional mastery, and I guess that's where refining your emotional intelligence, your emotional consciousness really comes in at. Because outside of that, like, if you were to really just trust your clairsentience, and you were really just to trust your intuition, and you had crystal clarity around what belongs to you and what doesn't, and when you walk into a room, which energy is yours and what is not, you would be talking to them like a boss, like your spirit guides like a boss. Like, you wouldn't need this pick a card reading. You wouldn't need to ask anybody for anything ever, probably. I mean, obviously we all have to ask each other for help at some point, but spiritually wise, like, they've got you. You guys have been like really well and deeply connected, and they are really here for you. Like, your spirit team really loves you a lot, and they are doing a lot to protect you, by the way. Not just anybody can come walking into your energy. Like, they are actively protecting you with your energy, and they aren't letting the really awful stuff come in. So you are protected, and yeah, they're really just hitting home how beautiful you are as a soul. And like, just clean up your energy, go deeper with that, trust your clairsentience. Like, even right now, you know, you can ask them a question and then be quiet and listen. And as soon as you can really decipher what is truly you and what is other, you're going to have a much easier time feeling like you receive their guidance. Okay, pile number 2. Oh, you're such a beautiful pile. I'm so happy and grateful to be able to read for you today. If you ever want to dive deeper, I do offer personal readings. The link is in the description. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button. Maybe leave me a little rainbow emoji or a mountain emoji if you're in pile number 2. And pile number 2, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. Pile number 3. All right, so let's get started. So the very first impression your spirit guides gave me was that you've been focused a lot on just like self-limiting beliefs, going through heartbreak. There's a lot of there's just like a lot of mental stuff going on. And that sounds really funny. I mean by like, you're thinking about a lot of the difficulties in life a lot, okay? So there's been this like lack of play and joy. Your spirit guides, if you want to communicate with them, what they are asking you to do is to lighten up and to be more playful. Like, they need you to go out and find some joy in life, right? Like, go do something. They're showing me like roller skates, which is, I think it's because it's like something fun from your childhood, something that brings back the zest and awe in life, because you've gone through some really heavy things, or you are one of those people that is currently really purging. Like, it's interesting to me that in all of these tarot cards, you don't really see her face. There's this constant sort of looking away, which also signifies that you're not paying attention to your spirit guides. So maybe you have come across this video and this is your first time to really dive into how to communicate with spirit guides, or, you know, you haven't, like, they've tried to communicate with you, and you've just like, you're not there. You're focused. You're constantly turning away. They're trying to reach out to you, and you're like busy. You're busy doing other stuff. So, and I just feel like there's a lot of, you've been going through a lot in your material life. Heartbreak and disappointment, and like dealing with negative behavior patterns. Like you're trying to work out. This is like a very personal growthy, like you're a personal growth kind of person, right? So your spirit guides are saying, hey, we're here. We're trying to help you. Like we probably brought you here because they're like, we would really like to chat. Please pay attention to us. Please look at us. Please spend some time not staring off at something else, and like turn your internal focus to saying hi. We'll say hi. It'll be great. They really want you to have fun and to play with it. And when you talk to them, especially if you're brand new learning how to speak and communicate with spirit guides, they're really asking you to like, don't put a lot of pressure on it. So when I would first learned how to communicate with my spirit guides, I'd be like, oh, hey, in my head, and I'd be like, oh, hey. And then I'd be like, oh my God, I feel so weird. I'm like talking to myself. And having like a mental dialogue is one way to open up that communication. But it was fun because, of course, one part of you is kind of laughing at you like, oh God, time to go see the therapist. And the other part of you is like, yeah, but like these messages are really sweet and really loving and it's working for me, right? So that's kind of their vibe. They're just saying like, don't put a ton of pressure on communicating. Focus and keep paying attention to us. So instead of looking out, time to look in. And if you are going to look out, then like play little games like, hey, I want to see 3 feathers, and those feathers are going to signify that you are here in my life. Or I want to see a purple VW bug. I don't know, like have fun with it. Or like, you know what, I'm going to see an image of a giraffe today. That's how I know you guys that we're like playing the game of communication. They're basically going to be showing you all of the different ways that they figured out how to communicate with you. And so it's like a treasure hunt. Like you're going to go out and you're going to solve a puzzle together. And they're playing in the spirit realm, you're playing in the material realm, and like you're both crossing over into each other's realms. The treasure hunt would be so fun. Can you imagine going on a treasure hunt with your spirit guides? That would be so fun. Can you imagine? You just like have your little check-off list. And you're like, okay, guys, we're going to go out on our treasure hunt today. That's how I think spirituality should be, right? Like make it so much fun. And give yourself an adventure, right? Like give yourself something to really, 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 really look forward to. Which is a lot of what's going on over here. Now, the jackfish and the Hawaiian monk seal are both really sort of signifiers of that it's been really hard for you to like catch their messages. Like the jackfish in particular is like, it's like the meaning of it's like, it's tough to hook this thing. Which really tells me that they have had a really hard time getting your attention and getting you to acknowledge their existence, and you've had a hard time feeling like you have caught the messages. I keep seeing you just like walk away. Like they're trying to give you a message and you like turn and look at your phone, or you turn and look in the mirror, or you're just like constantly like turning around and being focused on whatever is in front of you in life. Which is why I think the play would be really fun, right? Because you are having an opportunity to connect with them, where you're like going on an adventure with them and increasing your ability to communicate. I just feel like they don't feel like you listen to them at all. Like that you just really don't pay attention and you don't listen, and it's almost like you weren't interested before maybe in having spirit guides. So that gives me very much like maybe this is your first video watching, or you are just getting into really communicating with your spirit guides. And if you don't feel that way, this might not be the pile for you. Because this has very much like, they're really just trying to establish a connection with you. So super excited to have you here. Play with the ability to communicate. So they can communicate with you through signs and synchronicities. They can communicate through your intuition, your clairsentience, so you just get these knowingness in your gut. They can give you images in your mind. They can turn, like you'll turn on a playlist and now there's these songs that were like really meaningful and help you answer the question you just asked. Sorry about that, my audio cut out. So I am doing a voiceover. What I was saying is there are these different ways that your spirit guides can communicate with you. And the next way is through people, right? So if you have a topic in mind and you meet a random stranger or even somebody that you know and they bring up that exact thing and it answers your question, that is also your spirit guide. They are helping to come through with that. So the overarching message is your spirit guides really, really want to have an established, clear communication with you. They are very excited that you are going into this topic more and learning more because they have a lot to share. And so I would just encourage you all, dive into it and have fun and play with it. I teach people how to develop their intuition, and one of my favorite ways of doing that is just making it play, because there's no mistakes in play, and a lot of building your communication channels with your spirit guides, a lot of it building your trust in your intuition is about just trying it out a lot, getting the feedback and building the muscle of discernment. There will be a point in your journey where you just know when it's the right thing, and you don't doubt yourself so much. So if you are kind of in that doubting stage and the kind of just feeling really cut off and disconnected from that part of your spiritual side, just know that you've got this, you can do it, and just keep practicing and enjoy it. All right, pile number 3, this is what I see for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this reading, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. It helps out the channel tremendously. It's completely free. And if you are interested in diving more into your personal spiritual journey, your personal connection with your spirit guides, or you want more personalized message from your spirit guides, feel free to check out the link in my description. Click the link. And I would love to do a reading for you. Okay, until next time, I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day.